I'm Dympna from Mullingar, and I suppose up until now I've had a very varied career. Um, I started off working for a Japanese company, and I worked and lived in Japan in the 80s. And then when I came back and I had my three gorgeous children, I went back to college and went to catering school. And following that, then I started my own catering business, and I worked and made a great living out of that until 2016. Now I'm taking it a lot handier. I'm back in education again. I'm doing some work with Vision Ireland, some advocacy work, and I'm also doing some training and disability awareness with the DFI. And yeah, life is good. I love you too, and I've always loved them. It's not at the moment that I always loved them. I've been to their concert. I was disappointed I didn't get to go to the Sphere. It was a dream I'd win the lottery and bring myself and my brother. I also like Snow Patrol. Oh my God, I like all kinds of music. Any of it is good. I love a good crime novel. Patricia Gibney is probably one of my favourites in that field. But interestingly enough, now the one I'm reading at the moment is one that I nearly be doing. I read it the same as I do for my studying for my leaving cert. It's not a bedtime book. It's called I Am the Placebo. And it's a great book, and it's giving me a great, I suppose, mind over matter approach to my disability and other parts of my everyday life. So that's a bit of a heavy read at the moment, but I'm really enjoying it. With my disability, I'm very lucky in that people aren't generally aware that I have a vision problem. I'm vision impaired, but I have some sight left, and the sight that I have is really very good. Now I bump into things and things like that, but other than that, I use a cane that'll reduce that quite a lot. So I'm lucky in the fact that I can still, except for the fact that I can't drive, I'm very lucky in that I'm still mobile. I can come in and out of places very easily. What I don't like to see is difficult situations for colleagues and friends of mine that maybe have a disability where they need to use a wheelchair. And for example, you go to the cinema and the disability toilet isn't working. Very simple things like automatic doors, like the technology has been around for at least 100 years. Like, why are particularly public buildings and why are they not in use for everybody, not only with people with wheelchairs, but they're trying to yank a big heavy door open when there are very easy solutions, either to have it automated or one that you can slide back. I don't feel the world is built for me or people with disabilities. For example, we have very good technologies available to people. For example, one of the things that I use very regularly are the buses. And we have very good apps to tell us when the buses are coming and this, that and the other. But oftentimes the driver doesn't connect them, or even the time on the bus is wrong, or the next stop is wrong, and it comes out saying you're in Kinnegad when you could be in Lucan, for example. And also the traffic signals, they're not always audible, and for a vision impaired person, that's the only cue that they have is to cross the road is when the sound is audible. And some are very good, some are not good. There should really be an audit done of them in every town by whoever is responsible for doing them. I know I've said it to our own Westmeath County Council in Mullingar maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. And I did get a reply back fairly soon saying they sent it to the relevant department. But other than that, nothing. To be honest, I've had very little experience of somebody saying anything very rude or inappropriate. Most of the stuff is funny, and most of it is from people I know very well. I was just thinking about this, and I was in Italy a couple of weeks ago with two friends of mine, and we were driving along in the car, and it'd be, oh, do you see that convent now up on that hill, or do you see them over there? Well, now they're lavender, that's a lavender field, and they're cherries, and they're this, that, and the other, and I'm going, well, for you girls. The other thing which is I find great and humorous in Dublin is you'll often get somebody pulling you by the elbows. Oh, I'll help you across here, missus, or something like that. And you just all take it in the best humour that you can and think, look, somebody is trying to help me, and most of the time I'm very glad of it. If I had a wish list for how the world could be better for people with disabilities, in my own case, it would be being able to drive, self-drive, or improvements in the transport infrastructure. Even if there's good facilities available, people with disabilities are not always able to get to them because of transport issues. What might be just down the road for somebody in a car is a half an hour, 40 minutes walk for people with a disability, or people in a wheelchair, or somebody who have to make their way on their feet, or by other means. There could be waiting for a taxi or a bus. Often there's no bus shelters. The buses don't come on time, and then they're very crowded. So if I had a wish list, I suppose that would be a key factor, because I think if people with disabilities are not seen and not out there in the community, they're never considered. They're left at home, and they don't exist as far as the general public and the people that make decisions are concerned. So that would be something that I would favour, is that people are able to get around more independently without having to ring a daughter or a husband or a neighbour, or when you want to get something, be able to get it for yourself is huge, and maintaining your independence is huge, and that's one thing that I would like to see. The other things is, I'm wondering why there are step-ups to footpaths. Like you have step-downs to footpaths for people with people in wheelchairs. Why are they not all, why are you not able to go up on them at any case? Like there's a slope on them, and that could easily be done everywhere, the slope. There doesn't have to be a lip. My dream in life now is probably different from what it would have been 10 years ago, but I still have dreams. I'd like to continue it. I'm doing art. I'd like to continue and get better at that. And only this morning I signed up for one starting an art course starting in September. It's a great hobby, and something that I can do without having to access other people. I can have the supplies at home, I have my station at home, and I can work away to my heart's content. I'd also like to get more involved in training people in disability awareness, and maybe helping people that are less fortunate with their disability than I am. I would also like to have the world a much more inclusive place for people with disabilities, that people with disabilities are considered more in decision making in things that are happening in their area, particularly construction, roadworks, bus stops, taxi stops, general things that will affect them in their everyday life.